Inside the church, the air was electric, filled with joy and anticipation. Friends and family had gathered, eager to witness the union of two souls deeply in love, Emma and Daniel. In the bridal room, Emma stood before the mirror, her hands trembling ever so slightly as she adjusted her veil. Beside her, Mia, her best friend, stood with tears already streaming down her face. "You look absolutely stunning," Mia whispered, squeezing Emma's hand. "Daniel is going to lose his mind when he sees you." Emma smiled, her heart swelling with happiness. She had dreamed of this day her entire life. Daniel was everything to her best friend, her confidant, her partner in every sense of the word. They had met back in college, and from the moment their eyes locked across that crowded lecture hall, they just knew they were meant to be. Their love story was something out of a fairy tale, filled with laughter, adventure, and an unshakable bond. As the music began, Emma took a deep breath before stepping into the aisle. All eyes turned to her, yet she only had eyes for Daniel. He stood at the altar, looking absolutely dashing in his tailored suit. The moment he saw her, his eyes widened, and a single tear slipped down his cheek. Emma's heart melted with love as she walked toward him, her father at her side. The ceremony was breathtaking, filled with heartfelt vows and promises of forever. When the officiant finally declared them husband and wife, the entire church erupted in cheers and applause. Their first kiss as a married couple was pure magic, as though time itself had stopped for that one perfect moment. They were finally one, ready to embark on their new life together. After the ceremony, the newlyweds and their guests made their way to the reception hall, a place glowing with twinkling lights and the sweet fragrance of fresh flowers. The air was filled with laughter, music, and the clinking of glasses as everyone celebrated the happy couple. Emma and Daniel shared their first dance as husband and wife, their eyes locked, their hearts beating in sync. But little did they know, their happily ever after was about to take a tragic turn. The reception was in full swing, the hall buzzing with music, laughter, and endless chatter. Emma and Daniel moved through the crowd, their hands intertwined, their faces glowing with happiness. Surrounded by loved ones, they soaked in every moment. Emma's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, watched their daughter, pride shining in their eyes. "She looks so happy," Mrs. Thompson said, her voice choked with emotion. "Daniel is a wonderful man. I couldn't have asked for a better son-in-law." Daniel's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Carter, were just as thrilled. "They're perfect for each other," Mr. Carter said, raising his glass. To Emma and Daniel, may their life together be filled with love, laughter, and endless happiness. Their friends couldn't have been more excited for them. Mia, Emma's maid of honor, gave a speech that left everyone in tears. "Emma and Daniel," she said, raising her glass, "your love is an inspiration to us all. You've shown us what true love looks like, and we're beyond lucky to witness it. Here's to a lifetime of happiness together." As the night carried on, the couple danced, laughed, and made memories that would last forever. They cut the cake, fed each other the first slice, and shared a moment of pure joy. The photographer captured it all, from heartfelt speeches to hilarious dance moves. It was a night they would never forget. But then something unexpected happened. As the reception wound down, Emma and Daniel slipped away from the crowd, craving a quiet moment alone. They stepped outside into the cool night air, the stars twinkling above them, the moon casting a soft glow over the garden. It was perfect, just the two of them, hand in hand, reflecting on the beautiful day they had just shared. "Can you believe it?" Emma whispered, resting her head on Daniel's shoulder. "We're finally married. This is our life now." Daniel smiled, pulling her closer. "I've never been happier," he said, his voice filled with love. "You're my everything, Emma. I can't wait to spend forever with you." They stood there, lost in their world, until Daniel glanced at his watch. "It's getting late," he murmured. "We should probably head back inside and say our goodbyes. The car will be here soon to take us to the airport." Emma nodded, but just as they turned to go back inside, a loud crash echoed from the parking lot. The jarring sound sent chills down Emma's spine. "What was that?" she asked, her voice trembling. Daniel frowned. "I'm not sure. Let's check it out." Hand in hand, they hurried toward the parking lot, their hearts pounding. As they rounded the corner, the sight before them made their blood run cold. A car had crashed into a tree, its front end completely smashed, smoke rising from the engine. The driver's side door hung open, swinging slightly. Emma's breath hitched. "Oh my God!" she gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. "Is anyone hurt?" Without hesitation, Daniel ran toward the wreck. "Stay here," he called over his shoulder. "I'll check it out." But Emma couldn't stay back. Her heart raced as she rushed after him. As they reached the car, they saw a man slumped over the steering wheel, unconscious. Blood trickled down his forehead, his breathing shallow. "We need to help him," Daniel said urgently. "Call 911. Emma fumbled for her phone, her hands shaking, but before she could finish dialing, a faint groan came from the back seat. Her eyes widened in horror. There was someone else in the car. A young woman, barely conscious, clutched her stomach, her breathing ragged. "Daniel!" Emma cried. "There's someone else in here." Daniel rushed to the back seat, his mind racing. He tried to pull the door open, but it was jammed. "We need to get her out now," he said, his voice laced with urgency. The car could catch fire. Together, they struggled to free the woman, their hearts pounding in fear. But just as they pulled her out, a hissing sound sent terror ripping through Emma's chest. Her eyes widened. "Daniel, get back," she screamed. "The car's going to—"
Boom.
A blinding explosion erupted, flames engulfing everything in its path.